Hi and welcome back. It's Vicky here, and today we are going to have some fun with textures. I will be playing with this Sizzix die. This is a big die that gives you the opportunity to cut out more materials than just paper, and this is exactly what I will be doing today. And Sizzix has another Santa face design. It is designed by Tim Holtz and it's also a big die, so you can choose whichever you like and you can do the exact same thing as I will be doing today. Now the die that I'm using today is actually available in Europe but not in the US or Canada, but the Tim Holtz one is widely available. You will find links to both these dies down below in the description area on both US and UK online stores. Now these days we are working with thin lids usually, but it's a great trend, but I really like to go back to bigs from time to time. I just love how thick materials they cut and all the texture that you can give on your projects. Now I'm going to show you how I like to store them, just because they are black front and back. Although there is a label on the side, I like to have the image in front of my die just for easy browsing. So I like to cut out the front of the packaging and I just stick it there with my tape adhesive. I store my big dies vertically, one behind the other in boxes, and having this image in front of them really makes browsing through them super easy for me. Today's project is not going to be just with paper. Since I am using the big die, I will take advantage of that and I will try to add as much texture as I can on my Santa. So I'm working on this scrap piece of white paper, which I am covering completely with double-sided tape. And I'm going to use this piece to create the beard and the mustache, as well as all the details for the hat of Santa. And I decided to work with batting. This is polyester batting. It's used for quilting, but you can use so many different materials. You can use felt, for example, white felt. So I'm going to make sure that I have a nice piece there, and I use the white cardstock at the back just because this batting really needs some stabilizer. Now I'm going to add one more little piece and I'm going to place them on top of my big die with the batting touching the blades. I created my sandwich just with the cutting plates on top and at the bottom, and I'm running them through my Sizzix machine. By the way, this is like a Big Shot, but it's a fold-away machine. It's available in Europe and I did made a review a while back. Now, as you can see, I am separating all the little pieces that were all cut out like butter. I am going to take out the mustache here, and I like how thick it is. It looks like real. And this is the beard. Now I'm going to move on and start cutting out the rest of the pieces. And here is where I thought that since I am using the big die, why cut out his hat out of red cardstock? So instead I am using a piece of red fabric. Again, you can use so many different materials. You can even work with chipboard. You can use felt. It would look great if you make this Santa out of felt as well. So again, I am creating a little piece for sticking on top my fabric. I really like to have a stabilizer at the back to give it more strength. So I'm going to place my fabric on top, and then I'm going to place it directly on top of the blades that cut out that little hat. And I'm using a piece of manila paper on top of his face, so with one passing I'm going to cut out both these pieces. Now when you cut out his face, you will also cut out with that passing the two little dots for his eyes that I have colored with a black marker black. Now before I start assembling my little Santa, I'm going to add some pink on his cheeks, and for that I'm just using my distress ink there with a finger dabber. Now I'm going to start doing the assembly of my Santa there. For sticking all the pieces together I'm using white glue. This is a really fun process. I had so much fun while making this project, and I know that you will have fun if you do it with your kids or your grandkids. Now I'm going to speed up the video. I'm going to put on some music so you can see the whole assembly. Now, of course, you can turn Santa into an ornament, you can turn him into a gift tag, you can put him on top of your gifts to decorate them. Just use Santa any way you like. I'm going to show you how easy it is to turn him into a card. So I used 2 pattern papers from a very old collection that I had in my stash. I combined the green one on top of the striped one. Now at the back of his hat I am adding some foam squares since it is quite dimensional, but at the back of his beard I'm just going to add some glue. Now since I used batting and it is polyester, it was very thick and that's why I have all that dimension. If you go with paper you can turn him completely flat. If you go with felt it's not going to be so dimensional also, so it depends on which materials you use to assemble him. My card is a standard card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My panel is going to completely cover up my card. And now all that's left to do is to add the sentiment. For that you can stamp your sentiment if you like. In this case I'm just going to use this gold cardstock and I am going to cut out the words ho 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 using these alphabet dies by Sizzix, and by the way these are called brass capital alphabet. Now I am going to repeat this process 3 times, and then since these are so tiny little pieces, instead of adding glue at the back I decided to use my Xyron sticker maker. I'm just going to run them all through that, and then it's just a matter of peeling them off and sticking them on my project. So that was the video for today. I hope you had fun and got inspired, and I hope that I reminded you that you can use your die cutting machine for cutting out way more materials than just paper. I will be back tomorrow with another fun video, playing with Sizzix dies and creating something dimensional with lots of texture just like today. Here are some close-up photos of the project that I created today. Thank you all so much for watching and for your lovely comments. See you tomorrow!